Alrighty. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's another fun-filled day. It's Tuesday. And how was Monday? Let me think. Monday seemed to be exotic in its own ways. We saw the information coming from the London Metal Exchange with copper, and what else was there? There was a couple different stories that really jumped out. Trying to figure out what we can actually say. Oh, I know there was trying to think the option operation O'Brien. They say that their traders are starting to quote prices for 2/4 point increases in interest rates between now and the end of next year. So the end of 22. And so we're starting to see that inflation conversation seems to be expanding, and we're actually seeing silver climb into a weekly buy after 23 weeks. So that was a very interesting start to the week. We're starting to see some interesting stuff. The cable is really, really firm, outperforming the rest. And now you can see, as you see on the screen there on the two charts, you see J4X is showing the Swiss moving down, which means it's gaining value against the dollar. And you can see the same thing with Chicago Quant on the right side there. And you got to wonder. We talked about it yesterday. It looks like they're trying to go to the bottom end of the range, move from the top end of the range down to the bottom end. All right, let's see what the chat line says. Heading over there now. And see, is anybody even there? Oh yes, Jordan's there. Hey Jordan, how you doing this morning? That was fun yesterday. We had some really interesting conversation about intraday trading. I thought that was pretty cool. Really enjoyed that. We looked at the Fibonacci sequence. I think, what did we do? We go find what we played with yesterday. It's around here somewhere. Right there, the 1 minute in the cable. That's what it was. Now, I thought there was a Fibonacci sequence on top of it. Maybe that was just on the daily. Let me go take a look at the daily real quick. Yeah, so we were looking at the daily, and there it is this morning. You see here the weekly has climbed up. You can see here it's in a daily for 4 full days, going on a 5th day. So they're definitely adding strength into the cable, that's for sure. And we see the euro doing the same thing, and you can see the Swiss doing the same thing. They're all picking up value. But that was fun yesterday, looking at the intraday. Let's go back to that again. Right there, the 1 minute chart. Not a big fan, as you know, so I mentioned that a lot yesterday. I'm more of a spatial type of person that sees more accuracy there. Me, I'm not complaining. Things are good, Life's good. As I take a sip of my hot tea, and I'll put the lid on it, like so, to keep it hot. Trading's the markets are doing what they're supposed to do, which is always nice. It makes I follow the markets tell us what to do. I don't tell it, and so they've been pretty clean and clear on their direction. So it's been really good. Good. You should. You can never go wrong by taking profits. You only go wrong by not taking profits. This crazy idea of let your profits run is something from the 1970s and 60s and earlier, when volatility was enormously low compared to what it is today. Now that we're in an era where volatility can be 15-20% in a day, awful hard to want to take a drawdown of that type of number. It doesn't make any sense. You're better off just taking the profits and not allowing the losses to occur. And when they start to occur, you get out. You just get out and wait for the next opportunity. All right. What else can we say about the cable? I guess while we have the cable up there, and let's just go back to it again with right there, and you can see here our weekly is even rolling over when it comes to the Swiss at this point. It's really showing an adjustment to the range. Looks like maybe we'll come down and play this area of the range now. All right, let's go take a look at the cable there again. And there it is, and you can see the weekly's moved up. let's put up on J4X. Right there. And you can see it's a lot of good movement going on there. We're back up to the 38s. That range has really confused us. We've watched it bounce between the 36s and the 40s, and then they dipped again. That's got to be part of that transitory inflation factor. You know, money normally, let's say currency pairs, normally adjust to inflation. Unfortunately, since quantitative easing had started in 2008, that has been somewhat of a lack of, what's the best way to describe that? It is not normal anymore for the fundamentals to actually participate the way they used to. And so that's the one thing that has caught a lot of people's eyes, that fundamentals are really tough to trade by, and that makes trading by, you know, technical analysis and quantitative analysis so much more healthier and more accurate, and you know, just safer, you know, just flat out safer. All right, let's see, where else do we go from here? From there we go to the euro, and you can see also at the same time on J4X, before we leave the cable, you can see that strength that we are seeing on the daily there. All right, head over to the euro, right there. And again, that's moving up nicely also. And then when we go over to here on Chicago Quant, you'll see how it, you know, it looks. You can see it right there. Lots of green. Let's widen that out more. Playing with the bottom end of the range right there. See that? And we're even showing a weekly that's trying to get, you know, into this plus side, which would be really nice. Say I'm long on gold. 1 minute, think it's gonna extend to 127 of the prior leg. Gold 127. I don't. What increment is that? 127. I can put up the gold future. Let's see what we got going on there. Where's that 1 minute thing that we were watching? Keep that in there all the time. There you go. And now let's take a look at gold. Gold. Let's see. And the answer to that is right there. See what 1 minute gold looks like. There we are. Ooh, far out. There we go. Oh wow, what an interesting spike up and down, huh? So it ran to, what is that? It was up to 17.83, and then we went into a sell here, and they slammed it down to, where did it get down to? Got down, the low is 8.3, is that what it was? So basically 8.5 there, and down to 7.8, so about $7. And tried to perk up a little bit here, and then broke down again, and looks like it's breaking down again here. See what they do with that. Also notice the manifold's getting tight. Let's widen that a little bit for you to make you be able to see that better. But there, that's the, oh, can you see that? Can you see that? I need to move that over, that's what it is. Let's move that over. That. There you go. Is that better? Let's see what that does. Let's see if that shows better. There we are. It's starting to get better. Yeah, I saw that middle age. Good morning to you. Good morning, Douglas. You know, we can take a look at. Let's go throw it up on J4X. So this is just a daily, but let's see what they're doing with that. Where's it at? We could take a look at the 1 minute in too. Where's it at? Right there. And silver showing life still there in middle age. Still showing strength. which is, you know, impressive. Now let's see if we can do it this one more time. I just want to move this over one more time. Maybe that's it. There we are. That'll help out more. There we go. You're not really seeing the price tag though, are you? Let's see if we can get this straightened out. Like that goes like that. And if we move this over more, like so, there we are.
Unknown caller.
There we go. I think that's better right there. So that's the, can you see the price tag? Now you can see the price tag too at the same time. And you can see here, still holding up by the hair of its chinny chin, but look at how tight that manifold has gotten there. So we might see ourselves, every time a manifold gets that tight, you usually get some type of move, like when it did it right there. We still went, what, about another 15 minutes sideways, and it didn't give us any real clear direction. That's what's the tough part with minute charts, you know. It's not really adjusting to the real action of it all, but it's all right. We'll just let it roll and do its thing. We'll just follow the histogram and the lines. Let's see, what else can we say about that? So you can see there, and also at the same time, you see J4X. You know, it's showing, you know, trading at 1780. It's got a good quote going on there. You can see that, and you can see this. At the same time, the let's see what a 1 minute looks like in that. Right there. Let's see, Middle Age says, silver looking great, Doc. My calls are popping this morning. I bet. You know, they should. You know, there's got to be some concern. I saw silver. I'm still thinking, if we can get in the, you know, if it closes in that weekly buy, you got to assume that we're going to see that 24.5 to 25 area. That's what I would think. That would make sense to me. Maybe we should get a Fibonacci going on that and see what the world is thinking about that. Douglas says, AUD in New Zealand, AUD in dollar, please. Well, thank you. Yes, glad to. Let's go over that real quick. AUD, what was the first one? Oh, New Zealand. Yeah, right there. On the fact check spreadsheet, I think you can see it on there. It was in a buy? I think it's in a buy. Let's see. AUD New Zealand. There it is right there on the daily. And you can see here on the fact check spreadsheet, get this thing to roll down. Right there. So you can see 3 weeks in a sell and 4 days in a buy. So it's kind of trapped in that neutral. You see it right there on our chart there. You see that's doing that. So there's, like, you know, the 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a buy going on right, yeah, 4 days, yeah. And you can see the weekly is trying to turn up at the same time. So that's AUD NZD on a daily and a weekly. Let's check out AUD dollar. Right there. Oh, wait a minute. Did I look at the right thing? I think I did NZD CAD, didn't I? Let me go find the other one for you. Okay, so you can see that here. That's been in a daily buy for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's been on. Let's move this down too so you can see it a little bit better. Yeah, like that. There we are. So that's been in there for a couple weeks in a daily buy since this point right there. Now it went into the weekly buy last week off of that. So that's kind of cool. So we'll see what kind of strength pulls out of that. Now let me go find you the AUD NZD. AUD NZD. AUD. There's AUD Yen. There's AUD Swiss. There's AUD dollar, which we're looking at. All right, so let's go grab the AUD Swiss and put in the NZD in there. This is always fun. see. And there it is right there. Always like this. There we go. And close. And there you can see, whoa, didn't mean to do that. Right there you can see 3 full days in a sell. And the weekly's trying to roll over at the moment. Because it's been in a buy from here. Or is it? It's been in a buy. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way since that's not it. Put them all over there and we'll redo these. So the first buy came in like right there. And we were in the sell. We went into the buy here, so we go like that. And then it went into a sell, not there. Right there it went into a sell. This thing's pretty trending, isn't that nice? And that gets moved over. And so it went into a sell here, and it was a winner chicken dinner. It went into a buy here. You can't be short anymore, but we're in a weekly sell, so you're neutral. Gets into the buy here on a weekly, and oh, I see, it goes into a sell there. There you go. So you look at that. That's nice. So it goes into a sell there. You can't take the short, but then you can take the buy right there. So you go into the buy again, another winner chicken dinner on the buy side. Then it goes into a sell here, and you can't be long anymore on a day-to-day basis, but it's still in a weekly buy. And still doing it right now. So the next one you're waiting for is the next weekly buy to pop up, that type of thing. And we can move this over here too. There you go. That's interesting. Another winner chicken dinner on that ride there. And then I guess it goes into a buy like right there. Let's put that in. There's your buy. Can't take it because you're in a weekly sell. And then you go back into the short again, and it's winner. So that's not too bad. We can get rid of that, like that. How's that? Who asked for that? That was Douglas. So is that satisfactory there, Douglas? All co-passator. Now, I see the 1 minute on J4X is filled in, and that's interesting. You know, it's doing that move like that. Now let's see if we can find it. Let's see, where's it at? Right. Let's just save that. Save. There we go. Now let's go back to the 1 minute on the gold and compare the two. There's ours. Okay, so it didn't break down here as much as it tried to. Still in the buy. And now it's breaking down. Let's see how it falls down from there. See if this closes in there. What do we got? 28 ticks. Oh, wait, that's seconds. Okay, this is right. It's a minute thing. Okay. Let's see if it breaks down there. Not bad. Whereas AUD dollar, you can see on the fact check spreadsheet. Just going to show you that again. Point that out. That's on the fact check spreadsheet. And you can see it right there. 1 week in a buy and 12 days in a buy. So it's been 3 weeks basically in buys. Been trying to go into a buy. Now the weekly's joined in with it. And then, oh, look at that. They put it into a, no, they couldn't. We got a red and a green. So no sell. It's just kind of waiting for the next one now. And it's turning back up again too. So gold is trying to lift back up there. Interesting stuff we got going on here. All right. All right. Where did we leave off? We were looking at what, euro or something like that? I'll jump back to euro real quick on a day-to-day basis. And did we satisfy? Who asked for gold? That was Jordan, right? So was that all right, Jordan? Did that make sense there? Looking at the 1 minute? Is that what you're looking at right now? Let me take a sip of my tea while you respond. Nothing better than hot tea on a cool morning. All right. Oh, look, it's still trying to hold its head up, isn't it? Just refuses to break down. Oh, I know what I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at silver. Let's go look at the daily silver. right there. What is that? That's the S&P. They seem to be moving down a little bit, but they're still up nice and firm today. Let's see, where am I at? I want to go to there. That's what it is. There we go. And silver. There we are. Showing nice. Oh, it's already in the 24s. Nice. Look at that. And that weekly screaming. And the daily joining back in again after just one day. I was saying to Robin this morning about that. It's like, they've got to do something. Can they keep on pretending that things are not the way they are in reality? In other words, we've got inflation. We're reading from some of the option trading organizations that they're starting to price things in for two quarter-point interest rate increases. So can they keep on playing that game like don't worry, be happy, and don't worry about inflation? I would think they have to do something responsible on some level. Just act like they realize it's going on. They don't have to do too much, but they just act like, if they act like it, at least it gives some type of comfort level for the institutions to believe that people are not like lost their minds, in the government itself. I think that's really the way it works. All right, and there we go. Gold is trying to push itself into the little cell there as we speak. And let's see what it looks like on J4X on the 1 minute. Yeah, same thing. We got two red hinkies. It's breaking down. Pressure's on. Let's see. Right there, you can see it on the Chicago side. It's trying to lift up already. It's already had its fun on the downside. it's already lifting up. And it's got a green hinky going on, and the white line is pierced through. So using this tool right here is a really good tool, even on a short-term basis. All right. I guess what we do is we go from there to, if no one's asking for anything, we will go take a look at the Turkish lira and see what they're doing with that. You would think it has finally topped out or something. At least I would think it's that way, That's where my head would be. Topping out. Let's see. 1 day and dollar, Turkish lira. Right there. Yeah, it looks like it's down just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Right there. So it's just holding up in there. You can see right there in this big we created a couple of weeks ago that it's pressuring down, but not negative or a sell of any form, just showing some pressure on the downside there. And obviously the weekly looks awful strong. Then what's it? It's loading in over there. Okay, let's see what it does on J4X before we switch gears. Yeah, there we go. Just one strong move there on the J4X. See it there? Just one strong move. And then let's take a look at the Euro Turkish lira. Right there. And we'll put it up on Chicago Quant. Right there. Same situation, just roaring up. Oh, look at that crazy story I was talking about yesterday. You know what I'll do? I'm going to turn that like small, and in case I have to talk about it again, and make it like gray or something like that. There we go. And so there we are with, there it is. And there's the Turkish lira, just moving up, heading towards the 11 area. No more questions on the chat line? Come on, Doc likes that stuff. He needs that. I like to get excited about new ideas. All right, let's see what else we got to look at here. We go over to Canadian now. Let's see what the Canadian's up to. And Canadian is moving down, which it should be. This has been kind of trying to tell us that, it hit the top end of the range there again and stopped. It is saying to us that the metals complex more than likely is going to be, gaining in value, and it obviously looks like it is doing that there. So let's put the Canadian up on here. Dollar CAD, right there. And it's heading, it looks like it's heading for the southern side of the range. I think it only has 2 big handles to go. Let's see when it loads up. We can tighten this up just a little bit more. That mouse that right there. Yeah, it's got a lot of work. It's kind of, I guess you could do this too. We could do the Fibonacci just to get the flavor of it to our range, like so. So it's broken the 50 percentile. Now, look how kind of adhered to it. Now it's playing with the 0.38 and adhering to that. And next thing you know, we'll be at the 0.23, and then maybe it'll march their way all the way down to the bottom end of the range. All right. And so from the CAD, we always go over to the metals complex and the energy complex. So let's take a peek at those things. Let's put it up on J4X first. So let's see, there is the daily of gold. Let's see it right there. That's silver. You can see ripping up, and there is gold again trying to lift. Matter of fact, we might, when we refresh this, it may actually lose the red dot. Let's see what it does. Nope, still got the red dot going on. But notice the histogram and the green line have gotten through the 0 line. The only thing we don't see going on weekly bothers me, and the fact that it won't get going, but that is what it is. They may be selling gold and buying silver. Maybe that's what's going on. That could be all part of the process. Let's take a look at platinum just real quick, because a lot of times, the one of the 3 are being used. In this case here, we're going on a 3rd week in a weekly buy in the platinum, and was that Thursday? It was 4 out of the last 5 weeks it's in a buy, and you can see after 23 weeks it went into a buy here, and you can see it's trying to stay up in there. In this case here, it's just orbiting in that area. Now let's take a look at copper. Here's copper trying to rebound again from yesterday. There was talk at the London Metal Exchange that they're running out of inventory, so it's becoming more of a paper product than a deliverable. And they say that the spread between deliverable, or physical, and exchange traded now is $1,000 between the 2 products in the last transactions. So it shows you the lack of inventory hurts. You see, Jordan closed the trade in a profit. Is that what, gold? See, I think that was gold you were talking about, right? Let's see. Up the top it says, Jordan, I'm long on gold. 1 minute. I think it's going to extend to the 127 area. Let's take a look at it. Let's see what gold is doing. Right there. Did it pop it? I guess it did pop it. So let's put this up on there. There. That's at 1 minute. So it is. It was a nice move from the $1,778 area up to the 83. So that's pretty cool. Now the manifold's getting very tight in here, and it could just go ziggy zaggy like that for 15-20 minutes. Cool. Very cool, Jordan. Very cool. Make money. That's the key of the game here. All right, now let's see. Where's our next adventure? Our next adventure is, let's see. We did gold, platinum, and silver, and we did copper. All right. So now let's check out. Let's just take a look at. not sure why gold is not doing it. Let's see if we can get silver up on the screen here on J4X before we leave this area. We're going to go over and check out energy now. See where oil is. I did hear them say something about it being up $1 today or something like that. Let's see. There it is right there. Doesn't look like $1, but notice the dailies can't get going. The weekly is just bending a little bit, twisting, trying to push down a little bit. And then let's check it out over here. Let's put crude oil in there. Let's see, light, there it is right there. 81.99 now to 82. Oh, look at that. Okay, let's check that out. There's the crude oil, like I said, and you can see it's filling in there on J4X. I guess we're going to be switching contracts very soon, moving over to the. Let's see, where are we going to be moving to? It's November, right? So we're going to be looking at December crude oil. We could probably even do that right now. Switch over to December crude oil, because I think that that's the next adventure, and this thing does disappear in tomorrow or next day or something like that. There it is, Z1. And I bet that's what Dukascopy has up there. They probably moved to the front. Yeah, what's the front trading contract? Yeah, see, that's it. That's exactly it. So that's where Dukascopy's at this point. So we're not getting a lift out of that yet. I guess that was right there. So it went into the buy there, and let's see, that buy can be moved, right? So there we are. I guess it doesn't matter since it's, now it's the front month contract. And then let's see, it goes into sell there, goes into buy there, goes into sell there, goes into buy there. Okay, that's fine. Excellent. Now it lines up much better. There we go. So we'll get rid of those guys. Remove and remove. There we are. Yeah, I can see that. Interesting. And having a little issues with our bandwidth or something maybe. Oh, let me just check my volume too. See that? Interesting. Okay, there we are. So you can see the quotes coming in from J4X, but we're not getting the chart. It's still trying to collect up the data. Let's see. Good morning, Santiago. Evening, Doc. Good evening, Santiago. Beautiful song by Roy Rogers yesterday. Happy trails to you until we meet again. I think we should have that little background sound going. Yeah, see, I always used to play the song from, what's his name? The singer that plays Happy, Be Happy. And so I did that for decades, throughout, for a long time. I used to play that. Don't worry, be happy. And when you're following Doc's work, you can actually not worry as much and you can be happy. And so once we switched to YouTube, they don't like that. You can't play anything. So I started singing. And so I sing all the time instead now. I sing something, and I love cowboy things, And so, I live in cattle country. I live on a farm. So yeah, it all kind of blends in there, But I'm glad you enjoyed it. Bob Marley. Oh, is it Bob? No, let me think now. Let me take a look and see. I just took a bite out of something. There's a chip here sitting there. Let me see. Not Bob Marley. I know I have it parked here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it without disturbing anything. Good sounds. Fernell Williams. That's what it is. Happy with Fernell Williams. That's what it. But I used to play that all the time. But I like Bob Marley. You know, I mean, I like reggae. So reggae's cool. Reggae, irate man. Yeah, yeah. I worked in Jamaica for 4 or 5 months, something like that. So, yeah. May, June, July, August. Yeah, 4 months. Um. So yeah, we sing away around here. We're the singing trader. Let's see, where did we leave off? We just got done with the crude oil. Let me save this too. Let me put the headliner in there like that. Let's see. Oil deck. There we go. We'll save that. Save workspace. Save workspace as. There we go, we saved it, so we don't lose it now. All right, so we finished off the energy complex. When we go to Canadian, we do that. And so we can see the metals and the energy complex is doing fine there. There's Nat Gas too. Maybe we can get Nat Gas on JForex. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe I'll close JForex and start over again. Maybe it was dealing with the 1 minute chart. So let me try that one more time here. Doom, doo, 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 doo. All right, let's see if it loads in there. We got Nat Gas up there. You can see Nat Gas is feeling a little pressure, which is interesting because I'm not even sure what Europe is trading natural gas at right now, but it is kind of surprising. And look at the weekly here. The weekly is showing some pressure there, right there. You see that? Which is a tad surprising when you really think about it. You know, I mean, we're going into the colder weather, and all we're talking about is worried about the cost of energies. So a little surprising that we're seeing the natural gas after, was that 2, 4, 6, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 8 weeks in a buy. We're starting to, and we went from the $4 area to the $6.50 area. We're starting to see a little weakness break in there. We've been in a daily sell for, was that 3 days now? So, oh, there we go, it loaded up now. There we go. Now let's just take a look at the Nat Gas on that. Right there. So we're seeing that back off and chill out. Imagine that. We went from 6.5 down to 480. We went to a daily sell. You can't really take the shorts because we're in the weekly buys. See them right there. But you know, it's basically been that situation where it's finding a way to ABC itself down now. Doc, I have a question on how you deal with a pullback on a lower time frame. In what, like when we're looking at like a minute, or I just take profits. I do my best to get out when I'm making money. That's the biggest battle of all. I don't feel comfortable with the old philosophy of let your profits run. I don't feel comfortable with that solely because volatility has dramatically increased since the mid 70s when we created listed options. I was having a conversation with my son about that yesterday during the trading day. We were talking about that. You know, he said, when you were young, volatility was dead. I said, yeah. I said, yeah. I was like your age. It was dead in the 70s. But I said, then I said that they created listed options, and volatility exploded. And then when I was young as a member at the New York Stock Exchange, those old guys hated it. Oh my God, they hated the options. And they were like, oh my God, you guys ruined the market. You know, we could watch. They used to trade a stock that would go up or down $0.50 in a year. That's all it would do. It was $0.50 for a year. So they were buying the bid, selling the offer. It was free money. They were good. Life was good, you know. And then the options got going, and it freaked them all out. You know, it just, because now they weren't in full control of the markets anymore. And the volatility expanded dramatically. So in other words, think about it, before there were options, you could let your profits run, and you could be much more tempered. I mean, first of all, the volume was nothing back then. The New York Stock Exchange was trading, 7 million shares a day. That's it. And the stocks would move 3/8 to a half a point a year, not a day, a year. Now they move $3 and $4 in a day with no problem whatsoever. And now they trade, 60 million shares or 50 million shares on the average stock. Totally different than what it used to be. So the volatility has increased. So when you say, how do you deal with a pullback on a lower time frame, like a minute well, I don't use minutes, but I use what do you call it, spatials. So they can be ticking away. Here, let's show you an example of that. Let's go over and show you an example. What's up with that? That's not. Oh, I hit the wrong button. There we go. So this is gold. See, gold hit 886 and closed in a sell right there, and now it's breaking down. This is the 1 minute window. Okay. So to me, if I get short off of this, I'm covering it after $1 or so. I'm just taking money and going and putting a stop in, making sure I don't give away what I've already made. But for options, there is a premium decay if it doesn't move unless there is momentum. Yes, but you can deal with that as a trader. You can adjust for that. You can sell other options against it. So in other words, binaries. You've heard these funds like Dukascopy has binaries, and what that really means is you're buying one call and you're selling another. That's all that really means. And so the decay rate is compensated enormously by doing the spreads or the binaries. So, but in an era now where the zero-sum factor is removed, if I'm shorting gold, it doesn't mean I'm a bear. Before listed options were legalized in 1976, at the end of 75, going into 76. Before that, I guess you could say 75, right? 1975. All right. So before that, when you sold something short, you were a bear. Now, in a volatile market with options, when you sell something short, you're just adjusting your delta. You might be a bull in the product. You might own, say, 50 calls and be only short, say, 20 or 30 underlying product, right? And you might at the same time sell the calls way up higher, like put a binary on. And all you're trying to do is catch the volatility on the upside. You're not bullish or bearish. You're just trading the range. And so it's a whole different situation. Back before 1976, when you bought long, you were speculating on the long side. When you shorted it, you were speculating on the short side. Now that doesn't mean anything, because you could be long a lot of options or short a lot of options. And when you go in and buy the underlying product, it doesn't mean you're bullish. It's just you're just hedging your options. You see that? Does that make sense to you? See the difference there? I'm sure Santiago will jump in a few secs. I'm sure there's a delay going on. And now we're making a little bottoming here in the 1 minute. You can see that down in the 81s. So that's how you deal with the whole situation. You deal with it by taking profits, because the continuity or the trend can change dramatically on a short-term basis. On a day-to-day, that's why we do charts here on a day and a weekly basis, because we're looking at the overall trend. Yes, see, okay, excellent. I'm glad you responded. Thank you. And so that's the whole name of the game, really. That is the whole world we live in now. So you don't want to get trapped into the crazy old ideas before 1976 of let your profits run. Those profits could get you stopped out, and then how many times, I'll tell you, how many times over the years I've heard people say, oh, I bought that, I got stopped out, and guess what? It went there 2 days later. It's like, yeah, the volatility is so much more increased, you can't really depend on it to do it, in a very soft, gentle way. It's going to do it in a much more, what we used to call saber tooth, like the saber tooth lion, choppy and sharp, up and down, or like on a saw, a saber tooth saw, where it's sharp and it goes up and down. I'm with you, looking at the chart with you, with my indicators on it. Exactly. You gotta. You don't have a choice. The era of fundamentals are pretty much not enforced at the moment. The era of being able to let profits run better be through options and binaries, or a very small position that you can afford to get pressured on, because the volatility or the beta has increased dramatically. I remember in the early years where they had a high beta index on the New York Stock Exchange. We were trading, we were trading the index, and over in the options room, and the whole idea was to compensate. Fund managers would buy the beta index because to try to compensate for the volatility. Yeah, that was the whole process there. All right, where did we lay? Oh, look at this. The bottom has occurred now. Now it's lifting up again with our math. See that right there? So it goes into the buy here. Well, we got a red and green, so it's really doing it right there. But one thing's for sure, you're not short anymore. Definitely not short. So since the volatility change, you just don't do those things anymore. That's the plain simple fact of it all. All right, where do we go from here? Let's see. We're looking at the commodity. Oh, I know it is. Now we're going to go back to the currency pairs and take a look at the the green line on your chart is beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, it's a fun thing, isn't it? It gives you it leads the product. It really does. It starts to, let's see if we can shrink it down a little bit here for you. It does, and it develops ranges, like now right here, you can see where it bottomed in here. I guess it was like right here, but with all the red dots, you don't take a risk at it. And then you can see it's trying to stop, it's trying to tell you that it's trying to stop this heavy selling going on right here. And, you can see that it's turned up and it's zigzagging. And notice it's kind of trapped now in that range there, right? Like that box, right? Or I guess you could say like, see how do we do this? Like this. You can see when it started to turn up, you can see here, it's trying to bottom. And the green line is trying to tell you that it's bottom. And sure enough, it does it over time. That comes down to the tool that you're using. And in other words, when I mean by tool, I'm talking about like using binaries or, using options, outright, calls, or, long the gold future and at the same time owning a put, trying to be, kind of compensate for the move, and then it pops and goes greater. You got more delta on the upside. Next thing you know, you're making more money than you're losing. You take your profit and you go. The whole idea is to reduce the risk of all the heavy losses. Make sure you don't lose. If you lose small, not big. All right, let's take a jump over to, let's see where we're going. We're going to go to the South African Rand. Since gold and silver are going up, we have to assume this product is finding a way to go down. And at the same time, we did see that it was in a weekly buy for like 3 or 4 weeks. We've been watching it as it was going in reverse direction there. There it is right there, ZAR. Activate. Yep, see it's doing that. It's moving down. Closed in a weekly sell. Oh, there you go. It closed in a, am I looking at the right thing? No, that's GBPMZD. Where's that? Where's ZAR? There you go. See, it's going after the weekly sell now after 3 weeks in a buy. You see it's been in a daily sell for 4 full days, going on a 5th day now. And so with the metals complex moving up, this is finding a way to go down. That's what it looks like. Looks like a stochastic. I smooth it with a stochastic. That's why, notice on the J4X, we use 2 different stochastics for the green line. But what it is it's smoothed by a stochastic. Where's it at? Let's go back to that real quick for you. Yeah, I smooth it with a stochastic. That's why it's leading. Because stochastics, the Market Technicians Association calls a stochastic a lagging indicator, and they consider MACD a leading indicator. But when you take a fast and a slow stochastic, like I have over on J4X, it's a super leading indicator, much better than a MACD. Okay, so it's a relative thing there. Now I take my math. Let's see, we got the, I take my math right here. Let's put the minute up there again in gold. And you'll see how close it does match up. It has, and when it does it on a daily, it takes a couple hours to catch up. But on a very short-term basis, it's very close. It's not bad. It's a very impressive. I never noticed it, never really looked at it, because I'm not a minute person to begin with. But here, watch it fill in. Okay, see how it topped out, like this topped out right there. Mine topped out at, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes ago. This one topped out at 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes ago. It's a little behind, but it's for free, and it's a good tool. And remember, fast stochastic. Let me just show you again the rules to this. Edit, and there is the fast stochastic, and that's what it is. It's a 5-3 with a SMA. And that's it. That's the fast. Okay? And it's measuring itself up against the slow, which is also a 5-3 and an SMA. But then it has a slow 3 period, and then the SMA again, and then it's a low high when it comes to the price type. Okay? And you can see that it's behind a little bit. Now you can see here. Let's see, was it right there? So 1, yeah. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah, so it topped out. Where did it top out? On the green here, right? So it's 3, 4, going on a 5 minute. It's basically 5 minutes now, and my work is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes. So mine topped out right here 7 minutes ago. On J4X, it topped out 5 minutes ago, right there. So it has I put a stochastic into my formula to smooth out my formula, because I find stochastics to be very, very efficient. I do. I find it better than a MACD. And like I said, when you put two stochastics against each other, it's way more accurate. Okay. All right, where are we at now? Matter of fact, we may label this in our title today. That might be the good title to really label. I mean, that could be. I like that idea. Stochastics, fast and slow. That's a nice idea. I think I'm going to do that. Let's see. That. I just want to slide that in real quick before I forget it. And so, what else can we say about that? Oh, I know. Let's go see what ruble's doing. I want to see what the ruble's doing. There's ruble. Been in a daily sell, as you can see on fact check. Let's finish off our currencies. You can see right there. Where's ruble? Ruble. I know it's right here somewhere. There it is. 10 weeks in a sell and 3 days in a sell. You can see this thing has been moving down for a while. And then what we do is we jump over to yen. Let's see what the yen is up to. Looks like we'll finish off the currencies today. Yesterday we didn't do that. We got involved in some of that short-term stuff, which was kind of neat. I like it. I like when people ask questions. Anybody, everybody, ask the question. Doc loves it. And there's the dollar yen. You see the dollar yen's been just moving up and up and up. And on the fact check spreadsheet, that's right below the ruble. You can see 5 weeks in a buy and 10 days in a buy. So the pressure's been on the upside on our work on that. And then last but not least, the Mexican peso. Right there. And let's change this minute one to a daily. Like so, there we are. And you can see that we've been watching the Mexican peso. It's been holding up pretty strong. Went into the sell there a couple of days, like 4 days back. This is the 5th day. You can see that right there, the pressure on it. But we're still in the weekly buy, and it seems to be almost like, looks like a head and shoulders. You know, and you can see we're even getting the dots to match up with the head and shoulders, which is kind of neat, you know. So. What else can we say about that? That's pretty much, we finished the currencies off, so that's really nice. And so we are going to get out of here. We got, unless anybody has a question, we're going to start shutting down the game here so we can get to live trading for ourselves. Let's see, what else we got going? So we did the currencies. I know, let's finish it just looking at stock indices. You can see S&P 500 up 16 points. This is a 639, which I like to refer to as almost like a 2 Tesla. Here's the Nasdaq 100, or on Dukascopy and Europe they call it the Tech 100. That is trying to perk up a little bit from being down. You can see the green line trying to turn up. And then here's the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 116 points, but at one point it was up 200 points. I'm from Mumbai. Oh, nice. How you doing? My favorite country song is John Denver, Country Roads. That's a goodie. Country roads, take me home to the place I am from, West Virginia. Country mama, take me home. All right, this is Doc from North America doing country western, saying, yeehaw, traders, yeehaw.